Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's THEWFIA.org, and become a member today.
Wrestling fans, on July 29th at Crown Plaza Hotel in Warwick, Rhode Island, come meet Glenn Jacobs, Lena Fanine, Lisa Marie Varon, Candice Michelle, Ultimo Dragon, Funaki, plus 30 other superstars. Tickets available now at immortalseats.com.
Welcome, everybody, to the Pro Wrestle Zone here on WON Sports, WSBN Network, as well as Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and we're basically all over the place. So I want you guys to, if you guys are listening to this in the audio format in Apple, go ahead, give us a 5-star review. And this is Rick Del Santo. I'm here with Harry Davila. We'll be talking about the world of professional wrestling in the last, week.
Yeah, so. More or less.
Yeah. And thank you this wonderful Sunday afternoon. And we've got so much great stuff to talk about. Harry, you attended an event past Wednesday, excuse me.
I've attended a few events over the last couple, and I got more coming up. But yes, I was in Boston on Wednesday, and you know what that means. We got some dynamite action. Honestly, with talks about dwindling audiences and live events and stuff like that, I wouldn't say it was a sellout, but even for not being a sellout, that crowd was hot. They were hot for wrestling. It was the debut at TD Gardens, and I had a blast. I had an absolute grand old time with a couple of my friends. And, going through the action, there was a dark match. You had Kip Sabian versus Serpentico. Quick little couple-minute match just to get the crowd up and going. Sabian with the win. Kip, his gimmick is so different. It's very Sweeney Todd-ish, just by the look and the aesthetic. And you smiled. So you knew exactly what I meant by that.
I know what. Yes, I mean this is something that I read. I think in high school, I believe. So
yeah. I very much enjoy Kip Sabian and what he's doing. Serpentico just is always a good time. Quick little couple minutes. Then the big show, Dynamite, starts, and we're coming in hot off the rip. With blood and guts. Oh my God! Now I'm blanking on what the first match was, and that's horrible. Read me my notes here, please.
I got it here. Hang on, if I can find it here. Let me see. First match was Jack Perry and Hook for the FTW title.
Yes.
Right?
Okay.
Yep.
Right. Okay. So we get there. We're getting there just as the Kip Sabian match is ending, and Pyro goes off, and you hear Jungle Boy's music hit. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, crowd is singing, crowd is hot, and then it just stops. See Jack Perry, he's burying his old self in the desert, gets in a limousine, and the birth of Hollywood Jack Perry is here. He comes out to Beethoven the Fifth to a chorus of boos. He is getting booed out of this building. He gets in the ring. Hook comes out, and that crowd is when I tell you the crowd is hot for everything that is happening on this night. And they told a very good story. Jungle Boy showing where he's willing to go to win. Now he's completely turned He's a completely different person, attitude, look, everything. And he ends up taking the FTW title by hook or by crook, hitting him with the title, taking home the FTW title for the first time, Jack Perry over Hook. We go next, I believe was the woman's, I believe it was Britt Baker versus a hometown talent. Am I right there?
I'm sorry, repeat that question.
It was Britt Baker and a homegrown talent.
Let me see here. I'm still looking through my notes here. Hang on, babe. Bud.
Yeah.
Britt Baker and Kayla Sparks. Kayla Sparks. Yeah. She's a yep.
It was area. One of those things where you blinked and you missed it.
Yep.
And, this was essentially just to put over Britt Baker, just to keep her on TV and, show her out. This was the Boston debut, so why not have the Golden Girl go out there and get a win? Nothing really to report there. This is where everything started getting a little crazy.
Right.
And if
I'm
not
good.
mistaken,
I hope.
no, this is all good. I believe, according to your notes, if I'm right, it's the tag match between Adam Cole, Bay and MJF versus Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. And I was cackling the whole time. Absolutely laughing. This was just fun the whole way through. They did a bunch of nothing. I really want you to understand that this match was essentially just comedy and filler, but in the best way possible. How to do less and give more. And MJF and Adam Cole have hit this storyline with them being a tag team, but they hate each other, and now they're friends, and it's all the most obnoxious but hilarious stuff. From the theme music that's now like a joint theme between Adam Cole's and MJF, to the matching jackets, to the entrance poses. It's all beautifully done by these two. And let's not take anything away from Sammy Guevara and Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia and that dumb dance, it's the most hilarious thing. The one where he has his hands up like this and he's just like pelvic thrusting.
Yeah. I saw some clips online of MJF getting it in.
Yes. Okay. So we all know MJF is the biggest heel. He calls himself the devil, so on and so forth. He is the hottest babyface in the building.
That's what I've been saying for
he has
proven, a year. So go ahead. I want to give you my argument in a second, but go ahead.
He is proving that he can be a babyface and actually have like an extremely credible run as a babyface. He knows what switches to hit, what buttons to press, how to get the crowd behind him. He is just chef's kiss overall package. But they go, they start, pushing whatever. All of a sudden he's like, you know what? Dance off. He calls for the dance off. Goes over to the DJ booth, presses the little booth, and all of a sudden they're just like dancing. And it starts off with MJF. He does his thing. Then Sammy Garcia comes into Sammy. They do like some over leg thing move. It was just a lot of fun. Adam Cole comes in, ruins the night with his shenanigans and his dances. Then they go into just a basic tag match with your heat and your hot tag. And again, these two did nothing in this match and told an amazing story. The end, they teased a little dissension already. Adam Cole was holding the heavyweight title. MJF was like, what are you doing? They teased a little bit. FTR comes out, confronts the number one contender for the tag titles. We got your tag title match at the next show. I think it's the next pay-per-view. It might be All In, actually. That might be in England.
I think so. We'll get to that.
And that's going to be awesome.
Of course. We're going to be covering it here. So on the show, the program. So I want everybody to stay here for all the hottest news and coverage for AEW,
Yes.
WWE, and the independents. But I want to ask you a question. So you brought up something. MJF being basically cheered as if he is a baby face. Now, my guess is, this is how I'm very traditional in a way. Like, if you're getting booed, whether you're, you're a heel. If you're getting cheered the way somebody like MJF is, he's automatically a baby face in my eyes.
Automatically.
And there's people that, there's people that'll sit there and want to argue with me about that. And I'm sitting here like, he's not getting, I don't know, there's a certain cheer, but he's getting it like, you remember when Austin was a heel and he was getting cheered? It's pretty much that. He hasn't changed much. He softened up a tiny bit, Austin.
He's kissing babies and high-fiving and just doing all the right things.
That's part of the storyline that he's doing with Cole.
Yeah, and we get that. And it can go in so many ways. I think we know just by track record with Tony Khan where that direction of the team is going to go. Yeah. But it'd be cool if it went the other way.
Do you think that there's a chance that they actually get the titles and then carry it out a little bit further?
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't be surprised if Tony really wanted to capitalize on this storyline. I think that would be a smart idea to, and then
it reminds
maybe FDR can win it like maybe a month or two down the road, and then that's when they split or something to that effect.
I would say draw this out. Stretch it as far as humanly possible. There's money on the table. Do not leave it there. This run for MJF, because we all know it's probably going to end very shortly, reminds me of 95 Ric Flair.
Interesting. Please elaborate.
Ric Flair has always been the quintessential heel.
Yes.
He is the villain, the bad guy, the money man, whatever you want to call him. Ric Flair, silent profiling, all that good stuff. And in 95, there was a point where the Horsemen had kind of split up. And him and Arn had gotten into a feud, and Arn said he was going to build the Horsemen without Flair. Recruits Pillman. They end up having a tag match. I want to say it's Slamboree. I'm almost positive it's Slamboree. And it's Flair and Sting versus Arn and Pillman. And they do the whole injury storyline where they attack Flair in the back. So Sting's out there 90% of the match on his own. Flair makes the dramatic, return. And leading up to this, he's like cheered, extreme babyface. Like there's nothing he can do wrong. He comes in, Sting tags him. Flair just comes in, hits the rope, boom, clocks Sting right in the face. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yep.
This reminds me of that. They're gonna. Here's how I see it. MJF is Flair right now.
Okay.
Sting is obviously Adam Cole. Will they do exactly how they did in 95 where he gets the tag and he comes in to punches Adam Cole? No, but his characteristics are one of Ric Flair in that time. Like he's overly cheered and not normal because Flair had just come off the Hogan feud.
Right.
So he was like the worst heel in the game. So that's the trajectory I see here. The parallels, more or less.
Right. Okay. I get where you're going with this. I don't disagree. It sounds interesting. And we'll have to see where it goes down the road.
And then it's the match. The one that's like 2 rings, steel cage. I almost said the W word, but it's not War Games. It's Blood and Guts, baby.
Yeah, somebody else owns that name. Sorry, pal. Can't have it. Can't borrow it.
It's funny. Me and the guys yesterday, we were talking about it. Like, it's essentially the same match. Like, I think MLW has a version of it as well. And
they
it's like
even have like a cage. They have like a caged one.
Yeah.
A caged Rumble type match as well.
like when you have your lethal lockdown, your war games, war chambers, whatever you want to call them. It's
Right.
essentially, what Blood and Guts is. And for me personally, I thought the pacing was weird, like how they did the order of entry. I would have switched a couple people around, but being there live for it was an experience.
Okay.
And a cool one, because I've been to, we've talked before about where, like, the many places we've done and gone and seen, but I've never got to see something like that in person.
Right.
And, to see like the entrance, like all the BCC guys came in from the crowd while all the Golden Elite came in from the stage. So that was cool storytelling, like the Don Callis stuff. There was some really crazy spots in here. I don't know if you want to go down the order of entry. Actually, no, yeah, we'll do that. I'll just go quickly down the order. It starts off with Kenny and Claudio, which to me was like, holy hell, this is already going to start off pretty hot because you got two of the best wrestlers in the world starting off in the cage.
Right.
After that was Pac. And that threw me off. I would expect to save him closer to the end. I would have put him at the 4 spot because who it is.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just coming back. But he comes in number 2, and they start brutalizing on Kenny. After that, callback time, Hangman Page comes out. So now the odds are even. And if you pay attention, you notice that Adam Page is wearing some familiar colors. He's wearing white, black, and purple.
Okay.
Whose colors are those, Rick?
White, black, and purple.
Purple, black, and white, white, black, purple, any of those combinations. Who wears those colors?
I get that part. I have no idea who. Roderick?
The Dark Order.
Got you. Okay, got you.
Who was he friends with right before he went back to the Young Bucks?
You're right.
And
yep.
I'm going to get into that in a minute after I talk about the next entries. So you got them two coming in. After that, on side BCC, was Moxley. Moxley comes in, and once he's in, the blunder starts. You got the tacks and the nails and all the crazy carnage that comes with anything John Moxley. And there's actually a funny part in this match, and we were friends of ours were talking about it. Moxley is completely like plain as day Mox, right? No blood, no nothing. He slams Kenny into the bed of nails that they pull out at some point.
Jesus.
And I looked down and looked back up, telling you not even 30 seconds. And he's like Crimson Mask. And I'm like, you just slammed Kenny. How are you bleeding? Crimson, like literally just gushing blood. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. So it's starting to get crazy in there. Very there was a bag of glass.
I heard it was poured
broken glass.
Yeah, all over the place.
It was nuts. Yeah. Next coming in, so Moxley comes in. I believe it was Nick. Nick comes down. Then it's Yuta. Then it's Matt. Then it's Takeshita. Then it's Ibushi. So that's the lineup both ways through. At one point, a table ended up in the cage, and they laid, I believe it was Hangman, across the thing, and Pac scales the top of the cage and double stomps literally into hell. Like just drew, like he picked up and dropped. It was a crazy spot. Ibushi comes out and does nothing. Like you can tell the man was just there just to have a little bit of fun, but he didn't really contribute nothing to the match except for a cool entrance and a couple punches. Yeah, it wasn't. He didn't do a lot of crazy. Excuse me. He did more crazy stuff after, which is weird to me. But yeah, he didn't really add to this match. It ends with them choking out Wheeler Yuta over the top rope in a very abrupt ending. And I believe they had to like go home early because they were already over the timetable. Like
Okay.
they were already over the 10 o'clock time.
So my other guess about that is, I heard there was. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, so hopefully by the time this airs, I'll actually be able to watch it.
So let me
I heard
give you
that-
a warning. Let me give you a warning before you do, because I've heard it from other people already.
Okay.
Watching it live is different from watching it at home, and there's a lot of like commercial ads during it.
Oh, I
don't
heard
know
that,
if that
during. I was looking online, and somebody said that there was two. What are they called? Picture-in-pictures during
Yes.
the blood and guts.
Yes, exactly.
And you can barely see the blood and guts, the ring inside the steel cage as it is.
So that might take away from your viewing experience.
Right.
So I would, if anything, try to look past that.
Okay.
I thought it was an okay war game blood and guts style match. It wasn't the best. But for being there live, I have a bias, and it was pretty cool.
I heard there was a crazy suplex spot on the top of the cage, or a suplex reversal between Ibushi and what the hell was it? Was it Wheeler?
No,
Or was
on
there
the top of the cage.
Yeah,
On the top of the cage was only.
I'm
It
sorry,
was
go
Matt
ahead.
Jackson.
Okay, maybe I mixed up the two, or the person that told me that, because like I said, I didn't get a chance to watch it, which I plan to at this.
Yeah,
hopefully
I
by the
remember
time this
Matt
airs.
Jackson being up there. I'm telling you, Ibushi really didn't do much. He did like a couple punches here, normal like Ibushi stuff where he like kicks your head off or whatever. But it wasn't like, oh my god, it's Ibushi going nuts. It was just like, oh hey, Ibushi's here.
That's kind of disappointing, because I really love Kota Ibushi, and to find out that he doesn't really do anything coming into this, because they made such a big deal about it. First off, but my whole thing with this is that they made a big deal about him, basically to say they got him, kind of a thing.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's what this essentially ended up being. He like, if you watch the match and then watch like the after, like when it's over, he doesn't look like he did anything. Everybody else is like bleeding, sweating, scarred up, and he looks fresh as a daisy. Like, he literally, hair is dry, no sweat on the chest. He looks dry, like extreme, like too dry for wrestling. Like no baby oil. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, then like, I guess once they were off the air, Kenny cuts a promo. He's like, I respect you guys, the three that stick around, because Takeshita and Pac leave midway through the match.
I heard also there was brother, Claudio and Pac turned on each other as well.
Yes. So that leads into what's happening on Friday,
which we'll cover, which we were going to cover during this week at some point. So we're not going to get into the Ring of Honor show here tonight.
Yes. So, but we'll definitely talk about that next week. But yeah, it's going to lead to that. And then, so he leaves midway through, and then like maybe like 10 minutes later, like there was like a superplex spot where it was, and this was even odd too, because the way they were looking to do it, it should have been babyface, heel, babyface, heel. And it was like heel, babyface, heel, heel. And it was like superplex, 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 superplex. So it was a weird spot, but they ended up making a comeback. Like I said, Wheeler Yuta gets choked out, but it essentially was a 5-on-3 at the end. So
okay.
And then going back to the colors that I was talking about earlier, the Bucks wore the same colors as well. And
interesting.
Evil. I checked Twitter because they also did Rampage that night as well. and I was looking through my Twitter, and Evil Uno goes, "Our colors, our blanking colors." So I think they're going to lead into the next storyline for the Bucks. It's going to be the Dark Order.
Okay. Of course, we're going to keep you all posted and talk more about that as the weeks and days unfold. So that was AEW Blood and Guts.
Then Rampage, it was a lot of fun as well. Actually, I had a little more fun with Rampage because of their concept of the Battle Royal that they produced on Friday. And it's essentially 2 Royal Rumbles in one. I want you to understand how that sounds.
Please elaborate. Does that mean it's 60 men?
No. So I think it was still like maybe 30 men, maybe. Intervals were a lot smaller, but what they did was it's 1 blue ring, 1 red ring.
Okay.
You'll see that by the ropes. And everybody, so it starts off with 4 men, 2 in each ring. So it was Nick Wayne, Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin. Who was the 4th? Oh man, I'm gonna have to look it up. And what they do is they start off the match almost like having 2 back-to-back Royal Rumbles being next to each other.
Okay.
Give me 1 second here, because everybody's gonna play a part here in this Battle Royal.
Trying to bring it up myself. I can't. This computer's working a little bit slower. But
I'm having a moment too. It's been a long day. No, it's like legitimately. Yeah, I can't find it right now.
So either way, go ahead.
So they start off. So it's like I said, Darby and his opponent. Oh, Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal was the 4th. Okay. So it's Lethal, Darby in the red ring, Swerve and Nick Wayne in the blue ring, and every interval gets thrown into a specific ring.
Right.
So the next person comes out, he goes in the blue ring. The next person after that, he'll go in the red ring. And then the winners of those battle royals between the red and the blue will essentially face each other at the end of they can use both rings now because you can't cross over.
Right.
So, and I thought that was a cool concept. And I don't remember ever seeing something like that.
If I remember correctly, this was something WCW did something very similar. Yes, exactly. But I'm talking like this is like 91, 92, something like that, maybe around there.
The essential idea behind the Dynamite Diamond Ring.
You're right. Yep.
This was more. This was more like if you had Royal Rumbles, like the Royal Rumble, but then you separated them by ring and had them done at the same time. It sounds convoluted, but it was fun to see how they did everything. Like you had like Butcher and the Blade in there, 2.0, the Embassy, pretty much 90% of the Mobile Embassy was in there. Commander did his high flying spots. Some surprises like Minoru Suzuki showing up. When I tell you that was the surprise of the night for me, we're there and we're watching, and all of a sudden that first like guitar hit, and we're just like, no way he's coming out into this battle royal, and he starts slapping people around. Big Bill had a couple good moments in the spotlight. He was definitely throwing people around. Brian Cage is an animal. He was killing people out there. Essentially comes down to Swerve in the blue ring and Darby in the red ring. Darby ends up winning the TNT title match. I'm not sure when that's going to be, but he's next in line. Pretty fun stuff. After that was the Acclaimed versus QTV. And this is where I tell you to go take a bathroom break.
Well, all right.
Because outside of the rap, this match was a lot of nothing. A lot of nothing.
Right.
And then the main event was Chris Statlander defending the TBS title against Marina Shafir. And this was essentially a dark match just thrown on Rampage. But Chris Statlander still looks amazing in the victory. I'm hoping they give her a little more of a spotlight because when Jade Cargill was the champion, she was the center of that TV show for Rampage. I think Statlander should be as well.
Now, is Jade Cargill retired? Did she step away from the business, period?
I can't confirm or deny that information because I'm not sure myself. There's a lot of speculation. Somebody asked if she was coming back, and she was just like, nah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing rumors that she's retiring, and I'm sitting here like, whoa, wait a second. Like, you know, that's relative. She's relatively young, and she spent a year and a half in professional wrestling?
I mean, I don't want to say that she needs to stay around because Jade. I do love Jade Cargill as she's the total package, and I believe she can be she could be big. Jade Cargill can be huge, the name that we're all talking about in about 3 to 5 years. If she,
I find that interesting that you say that, but okay, I'm gonna okay.
Why?
I have not been her biggest fan. It has nothing to do with, I just don't think she's very good or entertaining. She has not, her in-ring work, I think, needs a lot of work. I think she's still very green. And so that's pretty much it.
The obvious comparisons are Goldberg.
Obvious, that's been the comparison since I think the first week or two that she was around. So
the obvious comparison. So that being said, Goldberg was green as goose shit, and I'll say that. And I'll say
still
that
is. I mean, anytime he steps in the ring, still he's
and this. Listen, I'm not trying to say that I could do this better than anyone because I can't.
I know
I'd be lying if I told you I could.
Yeah.
And I'm just saying, from the amount of people he's hurt to the way he carries himself, the man legitimately headbutts a locker before going to the ring. And this is the guy you're going to put your life into. Like, you're going to trust him with your life. You're going to trust him with anything.
Yeah.
But he had a meteoric run. He went and just crushed people. And he did it in quick fashion, which is exactly what they did with Jade Cargill. She would go in the ring. She'd had the spectacular entrance. She had the music that was her theme music fit her to a T. To a T. Her whole presentation, the package, A+. A+, because they made her a star. And not to take away from how you feel, you may not like her for whatever reason that you may not like her, but if you paid it, if you watch a pay-per-view or a TV, when Jade Cargill was on, that crowd was up. And that's why she held the TBS title for so long. And, all her matches, towards the end, they got a little bit longer. But if you notice, 90% of her matches didn't go over 10 minutes.
You're right. Yeah.
It was quick. Here's Jade Cargill. She's phenomenal. She's going to give you her double arm finisher. It's called Jaded. She's going to lick her finger. She's going to go home. And that's literally what she did. Watch her matches. Entrance, double arm, lick the finger on the pin. She's going home. And they made her look like a rock star. Her attitude made her seem like a rock star. And that's why she got bigger and bigger and bigger. If she continued that and then actually worked on the ring work, which, yes, she does need improvement on, but if she improves on it, it's over for a lot of these females.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here. Who has as much charisma as Jade Cargill?
Oh, she's very charismatic. Yeah.
Look, the presentation of a Jade Cargill. Who has that?
Yeah.
Nobody.
It's very unique. Yes.
And then, you're also touching into the fact that she is not and this is gonna sound awful, and I'm gonna say this with all due respect, like she is black, and we all know how the wrestling business has treated women of darker colors. So the fact that she's excelled has been amazing for even people like me, who's a little bit of the darker skin tone. To see, I'm fully behind Jade Cargill, 100%. If she retires, it would be a sad day for wrestling because there's so much money left on the table with her.
Wow. All right. Do you have any? No, I mean, I got nothing else to offer you. You make very good, valid points. Like, I just think that she needs a little bit more ring work, but yeah.
I agree. I completely agree.
Is there anything else AEW related you want to put
no,
out there?
that was pretty much it. I'm kind of bummed. There was an opportunity for me to get to Collision on Saturday, and I'm not going to be able to make it.
Is this the Hartford show?
No, that's the one in Jersey.
Okay.
In Newark. But I'll be up. Actually, I'll get into that now, being that I brought that up. This weekend, I will be at Connecticut.
Going to the cosplay show, the Connecticut cosplay wrestling.
I'll be at cosplay both Friday and Saturday for the first few shows on Saturday, and then I'll be going down to NEW for the big Bethany Bash.
Right.
And that's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, my weekend is going to be crammed full of wrestling again. I'm not against it, but it's going to be a very busy, long weekend. A lot of driving.
Hang on one second.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Never mind. The way it looked. Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be there. I'll be again 2 Connecticut shows for Cosplay Pro. I love Cosplay Pro because they're Super Smash Brothers in real life. It's essentially what it is. And it's like I took my son last year and he had a blast. He was like the happiest person in the world. 1, because it's wrestling. 2, because it's superheroes.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong.
You get the best of both worlds. I mean,
pretty much.
Pro wrestlers are basically real life action heroes. They're superheroes.
Absolutely.
You know? And so you get the best of both worlds right there.
Yeah. And like the cast of characters that they have are some of Connecticut's best in cosplay form. So you can't go wrong.
Well, I think I don't remember who exactly is on the show this year. I know Ryan Frost is there.
Yes,
friend of the
Chase.
show. Lucas Chase. What's Lucas Chase's character this year?
He is Wolverine this year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right. Sammy Diaz is there still again, correct?
I believe as Mario.
Right. Yeah.
And then you got Jordan Rowe, who is Spider-Man, Miles Morales, which I think that fits him completely. It's pretty hilarious, actually. Troy Stevens as Green Arrow. You said Ryan Frost. He's going to be there as Kingpin. Mike Law as Little Mac. I believe he's the champion.
That's Colossal Mike Law. Yes, and he is the cosplay champion. Yes.
Yeah. I was there last year when he beat Frost for it. It was a lot of fun. Powered up that fist. Wow. Good times.
That's from Little Mac is from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. That makes perfect
Dude,
sense. If anybody that knows Colossal Mike Law. Yeah.
If you can get out to one of the Connecticut shows this weekend, man, go do it, man. Take your son. It'll be a good time.
Yeah. My son that's visiting, Frank, you know him. You met him the BST show. He is going home tomorrow, Monday, and so we're just trying to, just chill, do whatever. And I don't think we're going to be doing much. We're trying to get the house in order for an inspection.
Yeah.
Basically, people coming over to look at it. So we're basically just trying to work our butts off, trying to get the house in order before we, do anything. So I think this weekend's wrestling will just be on my television. There won't be any live events this weekend. So probably, hopefully next weekend. And of course, we're going to be talking about next weekend. We have the Coliseum show on August 4th. So the week before will be the of course the preview show, the Sunday before, which would be this coming Sunday, next Sunday, basically. So we're going to be doing a huge 2-hour preview show. So far, I've got some really great guests, but I don't want to talk about that right now. There's a lot more other stuff that we're going to talk about before we get into the Coliseum. BST had to reschedule an event. You guys got shut out because of weather. Yeah.
Rain, go away. Please come back another day.
We've had a lot of rain in the last couple weeks.
It seems like the rain just wants to overshadow BST these last few weeks. We had a little bit of a scare even for Star Spangled Bash. We thought it was going to rain all day, and then we got lucky, and it didn't rain at all. That was actually a really fun night. But yes, we have rescheduled Battle at Black Rock. It is now July 30th. Same bat time, same bat station. Toe Talk Tavern at 2:30 p.m. Doors open at 1:30. And as they say, the Golden Rule in professional wrestling, card subject to change.
Yeah, there's been a little reshuffling, which this is still a top-notch show. So,
unfortunately, we had to make a lot of changes to the card due to availability and last minute stuff. But we got a stat card nonetheless. We'll start off with the main event. It is going to be Lucas Chase and Mike Skyros for the BST Championship. And I believe this might be a first time ever. Or they were scheduled to meet recently and it couldn't happen for one reason or the other. So I'm actually excited that match is coming to BST and in our home base of Toe Talk Tavern. Chris Desmond, half of the Monster Factory Tag Team Champions, goes up against the Thick Daddy, Andy Brown. Jermaine Marbury goes against Alan Compass. I see the smile. Then you got Bobby Buffet going one-on-one with everybody's favorite substitute teacher, Vander James. And in our main event, it is going to be Evie De La Rosa and Patrick Saint of the Mission going 2-on-2 with Mark Alexander and the returning JC Storm.
That's going to be a fun show. I'm looking forward to Lucas Chase and the Mike Skyros. Mike Skyros is a guy on the independent circuit based out of Syracuse, New York, who's just, I don't know how to describe him, but he is that effing good. Like, if you've never seen him before, you need to go check this guy out. And of course, what can I say about Lucas Chase that I have not said before? Okay. You will hear me talk very highly of him on this program and have for the last 4 years.
What can you say that you haven't said before about Lucas Chase? That he sucks. He's the absolute worst.
No, that would be an absolute lie.
That would be a false statement. Yeah. No, Lucas Chase, our two-time heavyweight champion, has been on a tear. Amazing emotional match with Matthias at the Elevate show. He's had crazy ladder matches. He's had Iron Man matches. This guy has been pretty much the forefront of BST since the inception. And he's got a big challenge ahead of him with Mike Skyros. He had one with Wrecking Ball. And we're going to circle back to that. Wrecking Ball is still going to come to BST. Let me make that perfectly clear. But Mike Skyros is not someone anyone should sleep on. You said it best. He can't really describe what he is as a wrestler But man, that man is the man. And
He
if
is
you're
just a
go ahead,
technician from the word
he's a
go.
striker. He's a
Yeah,
technician. He's a striker.
yeah.
If he needs
Think
to, he
of
takes to the air.
think of somebody like the Dynamite Kid,
Yes.
or Chris Benoit, or if you remember, obviously you're a big Ring of Honor guy, Hurricane John
Yes.
Walters or Josh
Ooh.
Daniels. You know, those guys.
Good comparisons.
Yeah, those are all guys
Chad Collier
yeah,
was another one of those guys. Yeah, very, very cut from the same mold. He does, though, where those guys kind of fell short, he excels because his personality comes out with his wrestling.
right.
And I think that's what differentiates him from all those men that we stated. Like, all those men were technicians, but they all were somewhat similar to each other. And that the one thing they were missing was that charismatic switch.
Right.
And Mike Skyros has that in bunches. If you're a promoter or anybody that has any type of wrestling company near them and you're listening to this podcast right now, do yourself a favor, book Mike Skyros. Book Mike Skyros everywhere.
You won't be disappointed.
Not at
But like
all.
you said, we have Andy Brown and Chris Desmond. I'm not familiar with Chris Desmond. I don't think. Andy Brown, I got to see on the last BST show. I've seen him a couple times prior. He's an impressive force. Excuse me. He is a big dude. I mean, in size, not necessarily height, but this dude could go. He is out there looking for,
he carries himself like a bigger person than what he actually is, as far as, like you said, height. And he definitely is one to throw his weight around, thus the name the Thick Daddy. That man comes from California, out cut from the same cloth. If we're talking about stuff like that, like the guys like Willie Mack, and out of that Santino Brothers, Southern California style wrestling, and having him in BST has been extremely awesome because he's just really that good, and he's cooking out here in the Northeast right now. He's doing some stuff in a few of the companies out here like Grind Pro and Blitzkrieg. He's their Bedlam champion. He had a killer match a couple weeks ago with Brogan Finley and TJ Crawford, which we talked about last week. But man, this dude is a hard hitter. And then you got Chris Desmond, like I said, current Monster Factory Tag Team Champion and a former middleweight medal holder for the Monster Factory. He was part of our 6-man scramble when we crowned the French Territory champion. And he impressed us a lot. We're bringing him back to give him an opportunity to shine, outside of like a 6-way capacity, just on a one-on-one, show the fans who you are, man. I think he's going to do some cool stuff with us in the future.
Of course, Jermaine Marbury and Alan Compass. Jermaine Marbury is a nice, good up-and-comer. He's probably got a handful of matches, literally, under his belt. The kid is an all-around great kid. He really is. And he's got all the potential in the world to go extremely far in this world of professional wrestling. And he's facing Alan Compass. I think that this is going to be quite the interesting matchup.
Alan Compass is, how do you describe Alan Compass? And I'll just go from the last time I saw him. It's like you took crocodile hunting and mixed it with Barry Manilow, and that's Alan Compass for me.
Is he going to wear his onesie or whatever you call it from the last time?
I'm not sure. Every time I see him, he has a different look to him. Just fun-loving, but has a very slithery, slimy
He may listen
side
to this
to
program. He may listen to this program.
He can listen to this all he wants. He knows how to get.
He might have heard me judge his. He might have heard me judge his ring gear.
His little onesie that he wore at PFPW. Yeah. So that should be a lot of fun. Jermaine Marbury, like you said, young up and coming kid, shows a lot of bright side. He's
Yeah.
gonna do some cool things in the future.
Yeah, and he's one of those kids, and not to get too behind the scenes, he's one of those kids that actually cares about being part of the business.
Yeah,
And
he pays his dues.
He goes in there, he shows up early, he helps with the ring, he helps set it up, break it down, carry it, and all that stuff. He just wants to get some help, get some work under him, to gain that experience. And he's a good kid, and he's I feel like he's going to go far with the attitude that he has.
Oh
with professional wrestling. Seriously,
he's another one of those guys. Give him a few years, he could be where Mark Alexander will be by next year.
Yeah.
As far as
who's another shining star. I mean, I think another kid with
Mark.
A ton of potential and has come a long way, and another kid that really cares about the wrestling business. He's got a really great style. And we're kind of going out of order here. That's okay.
Oh, no, it's fine.
I appreciate watching Mark Alexander. I think for your last show at Two Roads, the first time I'd seen him, probably in quite a few months, because it's depends on how many shows I go to and stuff. But it was really good to see him in work. And like I said, he's a guy that's always improving and putting in the work, basically.
Yes. He's another one of those dues payers. Like he's there and the ring needs to be put up. He's always first one there, last one gone. He is an absolute. He's incredible in the way where, like, if you look at where he was last year as a wrestler, you can tell he's matured so much.
Right.
A match that I can use kind of like as an example of his growth. He had a match at Fight for Your Dreams last year for Test of Strength. It was him and Red Sawyer. It was like a street fight. And, Mark is, I hate using this word in this way, but he's like a plucky underdog character. That's essentially who he is. And
he plays it so well, though.
Yes, he does. And he's one of those guys that'll make you believe he can beat anyone.
Right.
Anyone. And that match with Red Sawyer, even in loss, showed a lot of personality on his side, which wasn't necessarily shown beforehand. And even now, with the Money Mark Alexander moniker, and like you can see his confidence is growing every single match. You can see he's getting more confident and more confident and more confident. He had a shot with Lucas Chase at the title last year with Jiggy Silks on the three-way. And there was a moment in that three-way where I thought Mark was going to win the title. I literally was I'm watching, I'm standing next to Kevin. We're watching this really fun three-way dance. And he's covering Lucas, and I'm just sitting there like, oh my God, Mark is going to win the title. That's how good he is. He's another one of those guys, like a Mike Skyrose that we talked about earlier. Book Mark Alexander. I promise you, you will not be disappointed.
He's small, but he is very good and quick and fiery.
Yes. He has a lot of those qualities that guys like a Kylon and a Dustin Waller have.
Right.
He definitely has those qualities. He's missing that little something, and once he figures that out, off to the races.
Right. So we got Bobby Buffet and Mr. Vander James. What's to say? Bobby Buffet, the longest reigning Monster Factory champion in the history of the Monster Factory title.
Always eating.
He's on the Eaton World Tour. What's to say about Evander James? I've only seen him a handful of times, but he is impressive.
Evander James, House of Glory student, he's a cool character, man. Blessed to have him on the team. He's very, very passionate about what he does, and he spoke to me candidly on the side, and he told me something that I won't necessarily divulge on here, but he goes, "Watch this, and if if this doesn't get you going, and he went out there and he almost stole the show. This kid is that good. You don't
Right.
get trained by the Amazing Red and like not be quality.
Right.
And the substitute teacher gimmick is so great. Kids love him. He's always a highlight on any show that he's been on with us. Even going back to Elevate, him and Brad Baylor was one of the matches that people were talking about right after that show, and how good it was for both men. So Evander James coming back against somebody like Bobby Buffet, who's on a hot streak here at BST, that's a big match for him.
So, I guess you attended the Test of Strength event as well over the week.
I did.
Yeah.
Before we talk about that, though, we didn't talk about the mixed tag match.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that we did. Well, we shined up Mark Alexander quite well on that. Yeah, you're right.
But let's talk about his partner, because his partner just came back from a European tour with WXW and JC Storm. She got some international dates out there, and she killed it out there at WXW. Is coming back to get some revenge on the two people that robbed her of that Monarch's title at the Elevate show, Evie De La Rosa and one Patrick Saint. And if you missed Elevate, you missed Patrick Saint absolutely demolishing JC Storm with a spear that has been played throughout social media at nauseum. It's a crazy clip. If you get a chance, look for it. That spear, I thought, absolutely murdered her.
Wow.
So she's coming back to get some revenge on Evie De La Rosa, who is, I think, at this point, our longest BST Monarchs champion. So there's a lot of stories to be told in that one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm looking for Patrick Saint as well.
Patrick Saint is a monster.
He's a beast. Exactly. He is a monster. He is a big, thick dude and hits hard. What's to say?
I when he comes out, I tend to duck behind Manny because he's a bigger dude. He's just he seems fun loving, but once you piss him off, I feel bad for you, man.
So what else we got? What else do we have?
No, that's it. Going back to TOS, actually, speaking of Patrick Saint, some really crazy revelations. Yeah. Him and Dan the Man aren't on the best of pages.
No way.
As far as the mission goes.
Wow.
Yeah, there was a little dissension in the ranks. We're going to also see how that plays out here at Battle of Black Rock. But Dan the Man doesn't seem too happy with a little Patrick Saint. And they had a little bit of a fallout after their six-man tag with Sammy, Dustin, and Hippie Dicky Moon.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, some very interesting stuff happening there. Red Sawyer and Richard Holiday was a lot of fun to watch. Holiday always looks impressive, has looked amazing since returning to wrestling. And Red Sawyer is one of those unsung heroes of the Northeast, very young, not too much as far as ring experience. I think he's only at his second year now. But he's one of those guys I'd keep my eye on as far as, wrestlers on the rise. George Joel and
he's very interesting.
Yes. According to him, birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real.
He told me he looked at me, told me birds aren't real, and I didn't want to argue with Red Sawyer, so I walked away quietly. But guy's a little off the rocker, if you catch my drift.
Well, he's into a lot of very into conspiracy theories and whatnot. It's quite the interesting gentleman. Yeah. Talking about how the government does not care about you and.
Yep. I heard all of it this weekend. Trust me.
Yeah, it's very interesting. However, we were talking about off air about a company that no longer exists, which we won't bring up here. But I saw him and Ichiban work a match and went about 20 something minutes, which you can check out on my YouTube. Just search Red Sawyer Ichiban, and those dudes are freaking went crazy, went all over the place, man. And
Yeah,
I think that Ichiban helped Red Sawyer looks so damn good in that match, man. Not that he does not have the potential, because, like I said, he's only been doing this a very short time.
yeah.
But,
Actually, I believe it was about 2 years ago at Test of Strength as well. It was supposed to be Ichiban versus Davey Richards.
Okay,
And Davey Richards couldn't make it for whatever reason, and Red Sawyer ended up subbing in. And like you said, they had a crazy fun match. Ichiban is is an amazing wrestler. And once you're in the ring with him, like you said, Ichiban helped him, along with a great match. But Red Sawyer definitely held his own. You know what I'm saying? And it always takes two to tango. It doesn't matter, how long you've been in the ring. If the match is good, the match is good. Right. Both of you did your job. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. What else about the Test of Strength show? I was not in attendance. Was that filmed? I know that they normally film and then put them up on YouTube.
Possibly. There was a film crew there. We got some advancement in the 9th Wonder of the World tournament. Karen Bam Bam over Ariella Nix. So she's advancing. Trying to think what else happened on this card. TOS Youngboy made his debut. He took on Brad Baylor.
I was just putting you over earlier about your memory, and now look at you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know what I'm telling you. It's been a long week. You just got to give me a couple seconds because it'll click in. Brad Baylor took on TOS Youngboy, and Brad Baylor is he's a stud.
He is a star. He really is.
That kid is a stud. That dude is a diamond. Any one of those little catchphrases that you would say to someone who, if they don't touch on him now, that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like he's the next one on the rise. He reminds me of MJF a couple years ago, Orton in the earlier Legend Killer days. He has that it factor.
Right.
George Joel and Slick Wagner for the title was good. There was a fan in the front row who was a little rowdy, a little obnoxious, got into Slick's face and all that stuff. And for those who ever come to any one of our shows, please try not to do any of that stuff with our wrestlers, because she was a little much at times and kind of took away from Wagner's match. But he had definitely held his own and definitely controlled the situation. So credit to him on that.
It's professional wrestling. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the old days. I was just watching the Abdullah Dark Side the other night with my wife, and they were talking about people going after, other wrestlers and stabbing other wrestlers getting stabbed in the you know what I mean? So a fan in the front row, stuff has happened at shows. Okay. So the fans always get involved somehow, or not always, but you know what I mean? They tend to get involved sometimes.
Going back to Mike Skyros, he had a really fun match with Jared Diaz. Very hard hitting, strike heavy. Skyros getting prepped for, I believe, some big stuff at TOS. He's going to make some changes, according to him. Trying to think of, there was a 3-way between Clifford Jones, who shows a dark side of him at this show, as he's now part of Genesis, with Ken Powers and TKO, I believe in the Massachusetts area. He's going against Jay Bricks, who's going solo today as half of Hustle and Muscle. And the third competitor in this match was TJ Howell. And it was a lot of fun. Clifford Jones showed a whole new look. As like I said, he came in with a whole new attitude. No longer sporting the long, shiny pants. He is now in trunks and kick pads, and he came to whoop somebody's ass. Jay Bricks, always fun to see him just toss people around the ring. There was a point in the three-way where Bricks couldn't even get in because he just kept getting kicked or thrown out the ring. Very, very fun stuff from all three of these guys. And I believe that was it.
What about Holiday and Red Sawyer? Was that week?
I talked about that already.
I'm sorry, my bad. Oh, really? Okay.
You talk about me.
I know. I know you did bring it up. You're right. I'm sorry. My bad. Okie dokie. Wow. So didn't you have some stuff you want? Is there anything else about Tessa Strength?
Not really. They got yes. Actually, now I remember exactly what you're talking about. TOS's sister brand, Legacy is Timeless. They're having a benefit show on August 25th at the Nomads in South Windsor. And this card,
repeat that date, please.
August 25th.
Okay.
Give me a second here. I'm going to go down the card. I can start off with what I remember off the top of my brain. Your K1 championship match, Ichiban will defend the title against Alec Price, which that's a main event anywhere.
Yes,
absolutely anywhere. Blood, Sweat, and Tears BST championship on the line. It'll be Lucas Chase versus the paper chaser Patrick Saint.
Wow.
Give me a second. I'm looking at my events. The TOS tag titles are in the line. It doesn't necessarily say who the other partner is, but I want to say it's going to be Nolan Pierce. Okay. I hope I'm not wrong. But it is Dustin Waller and Tylon King defending both the Remarkable and the TOS Tag Team Championships against Mark Alexander and Nolan Pierce. Events. Give me a second. Here we go. Yeah, I finally found it. Let's see. Immortal Championship Wrestling title match. The franchise tie shine goes against the last outlaw, Garrett Holiday. Battle of the Aces. Top 5 Dead or Alive Sammy Diaz goes against, again, the Moonlight Sun, Mike Skyros. Step Ladder Warfare as Ryan Frost and TJ Howell III, Cold Cash, go against Jay Bricks and Richard Stone, the Hustle and the Muscle, Wade Kruger and Radley Belmont, the Stepdads.
Well, there you go. With that.
Oh no, there's more.
Oh boy.
Triple threat. Hippie Dicky Moon versus the Young Boy versus the Incredulous. I think that's Incongruous? I don't know what that means. That's horrible. I should go back to school.
I don't know if it's your fault, bud. I don't know if it's you, bud.
Red Sawyer. And then there's a single showcase that I'm actually excited about, and I was talking about this earlier with Kevin. Sexy Jesus. Hammer Tunis against hard-hitting Bobby Ocean. This card is stacked.
Yeah, that sounds like a really good show. Yeah.
So, come general admission is $15, $25 at the door. Get your tickets online. Front row's only $20, $30 at the door. If you're smart, buy your front row ticket now. $20. That's a card you don't get for $20.
Right.
There's a VIP package that will include a signed poster, front row seating, and photo ops with all the wrestlers. Kids under 12 are free. It's going to be a fun show. Glad that BST has even been considered to be a part of it, as well as all the other brands. It looks like it's going to be a good time.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that. That sounds like it's going to be really good. It is. Give the social information out there. They're on Facebook, correct?
Yes. Legacy is timeless.
Yep.
Let me see what their socials are at
I
the
think you could just
moment.
look that up because and then find it on Facebook and it'll come up because they found me rather, I should say.
Legacy is timeless. Lit Pro Wrestling. At Lit Pro Wrestling on Facebook. On Instagram, it is Lit Pro Wrestling, I believe. Yep.
Okay. And that's
Lit Pro Wrestling. Support the cause. Have a good time. Bring your kids. It's going to be a great night.
You forgot the
special
key
night.
line. You forgot the key line. Support
Key
independent wrestling.
Support independent. Absolutely. Yes, support for the benefit, but absolutely support indie wrestling. I can't say that and not preach it myself. Like I can preach it and not show exactly what I'm doing. That's why I'm always a little bit of everywhere, or at least I try to be, because I believe in pro wrestling. I believe in independent pro wrestling. I believe in brands like Tetsu and Tessa Strength and Blitzkrieg and Coliseum Pro and PFU. You know I was gonna get there. So I'm glad you said something because you ate your foot almost immediately.
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for it. Don't worry.
Brands like We Are Wrestling. That's enough. Okay, let's talk about that. September 8th, We Are Wrestling out of the Bronx, New York, at the Sister St. Helena Church. They got some crazy stuff happening on the 8th. I'll just give you a couple matches off the top of my head. That should sell you immediately. We Are Wrestling title match. Rob Killjoy versus Ichiban. Again, we keep saying these names over and over again because they're next up. That's going to be
telling you, the fans, something. Check these guys out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Punch their names
they're
into
everywhere.
the YouTube network or whatever.
Everywhere. You have Jared Diaz. I know Jared Diaz got a money match on that night too. George South is going to be in attendance.
Oh hell, I got to go to this.
George South against Darius Carter. Let's talk about it. Darius Carter is the king of New York, and he's going against George South.
If anybody knows me, I'm a huge George South mark. So,
dude, I saw that they put that out there, and I almost lost it.
That's probably George's first time working New York since his WWF days.
Crazy stuff happening at We Are Wrestling. Jared Diaz and Landon Hale is on that card.
Another great talent. I don't think we've brought Landon Hale up on this program before, but
No.
that's another great talent that we should be referring to here on this show.
We are going to be talking about him very, very soon.
And that's another guy. We always talk about guys that you're going to see that are guys that are next up, guys that are going to be on TV soon. That's a guy that's definitely going to be up there.
The good doctor.
Yeah.
The good doctor. Lucas Chase returns to the Bronx. He goes against George Santi. Isaiah Wolf and Robert Martyr got announced today, which that's going to be hard hitting. Robert Martyr made a name for himself at the Festival last year in a match against Anthony Henry, where Anthony Henry pretty much brutalized this kid for almost 15 to 20 minutes.
Wow.
There was a point where I think he threw him into the turnbuckle and almost missed the turnbuckle completely, and just it was nuts. Martyr took a beating, and in that became a star. He became one of those guys where you see him on the card, you go to watch if you enjoy professional wrestling.
That's amazing. So
Isaiah Wolf just participated in one of the premier tournaments that me and you love, the Best of the Best. So if you're part of Best of the Best, you're one of the up and comers in all of wrestling. So keep your eye on Isaiah Wolf as well.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up? Because I got something here.
Off the top of my head, no, I think that is everything I have today.
All right. Let's see.
You got to
see,
bring
you know
up
that.
something. What you got for me?
What's that? Well, Fight Life is running a show July 23rd.
Oh, that's right. Fight Life is coming.
With they're going to be in now Rehoboth, Massachusetts, July 23rd. Then they're going to also return to Connecticut, but I'll talk about the Connecticut date in a second. But this weekend, this is this Sunday. It's going to be at the Hillside Country Club. Fight Life Pro Wrestling presents Hot AF.
Yeah,
I went to so.
We talked about a little bit. I went to the last Fight Life in Milldale.
Yeah.
Man, top to bottom, quality wrestling. They have pretty much all the Northeast heavy hitters on one show.
Yeah, and then this one in Massachusetts, and I'll get into the Connecticut date soon if I can.
Yeah.
If there is anything listed for the Connecticut date, but this one, I mean, the main event, Masa Slamovich, the champion, against Joey Janela, which take that one.
Yeah. Masa Slamovich, the new Impact Knockout Tag Team Champion for the women, former GCW, and I'm going to say this, and I need you to hear how I'm saying this. Masha Slamovich is a former GCW heavyweight champion.
I saw her win that belt on TV. Yes.
She is the ETU, Expect the Unexpected, Key to the East champion. Masha Slamovich is not just a woman wrestler. She is a wrestler overall. She will beat you down whether you're a man, female, alien, monster, whatever. She will kick your ass in any way, shape, or form. And then you got the bad boy. And if you've watched wrestling in the last couple of years and you don't know who Joey Janela is, please get out from under any rock that you're living, because Joey Janela is the craziest MFer I've ever seen in my life.
Now, if I remember correctly, working CZW, did he not jump off the top of a building into the back of a pickup truck?
He hung off a raft. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He actually got press slammed.
Yeah.
Through a barbed wire box setup thing on the back of a pickup truck, and I believe they knocked out the springs on that truck. Actually,
Jesus.
But this guy has what hasn't Joey Janela done? Going back to CZW, he hung from a thing in the rafters to drop an elbow on Leo Rudd through a table and almost killed himself.
Wow.
His matches with David Starr and beyond, including the barbed wire one, are stuff of legends. Joey Janela is one of the GOATs out here, and this match is going to be absolutely bananas.
This is a match that I would love to see. So that's this Sunday, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me that this match is not going to be, as the kids say, fire. It is JT Dunn and Martin Stone, a.k.a. the former Danny Burch. This is
hard hitters.
Holy crap, is this going to be just one of the, like you said, hard hitters, kind of technical, but one of those hard-hitting matchups.
Dunn is one of the unsung heroes of the Northeast.
Could I say, and I know I've said this with you, and I'm sorry to cut you off again. How's that guy not on television every single week?
Couldn't give you an honest answer to that. I don't understand it either.
And I've been saying that for, 2 years. How is this guy not on television, whether it be WWE, AEW, Impact, New Japan, wherever? Some major television wrestling company needs to sign this guy, because he is, I mean, maybe he's not taking, lowball offers. I don't know. But this guy needs to be on TV on a regular basis, because this guy is that damn good.
Absolutely. Listen, I'd be lying if I tell you I wasn't one of JT Dunn's biggest fans here. when he was part of the Juicy Product a couple of years ago is when I started realizing how good JT Dunn was. Obviously, he transitioned out of that, went to Death by Elbow with Chris Hero. Chris Hero's kind of like mentee. And the dude, I don't understand how, like you said, how he's being not on TV. Former Northeast Wrestling heavyweight and live television champion. I believe he won the tag titles as well. I think he's the Triple Crown. He had won
I think
the
him
Triple
and
Crown.
Brad Hollister. Brad Hollister.
Yeah. So he's won the Triple Crown in Northeast Wrestling. He's been in the ring with literally the best wrestlers in the world. He's been in the ring with Chris Heroes. He's been in the ring with he was in the ring with Keith Lee. He's still like Sammy Callahan's Alley
He
Cat.
has a diverse style.
Yes. I'm trying to think. There was one recently. Cody Rhodes. He's fought Cody Rhodes numerous times. You know, like this guy is or should have been next up almost like 4 years ago. You know, I like you said, why is he not on TV? I couldn't give you an answer.
Yeah. I
agree.
I agree. It's very confusing as to why,
and Danny Burch, British strong style. He's cut from that cloth of, guys from England who came out here and just took over.
Right.
And that little batch of people a couple years ago, like Gunther and Will Ospreay and Pete Dunne. Name Danny Burch on that list too. And the history between Dunn and Burch goes back years.
Mm-hmm.
Even before Burch got signed to NXT, him and Dunn were, as they say, doing the loop. They were wrestling each other everywhere. So it's going to be cool to see them get back in the ring one more time.
Right. Let's see. We got Becca and Jimmy Lloyd. Okay.
No, hold on.
Oh, you do want to elaborate? Okay, I have.
I'm not gonna touch too much on this. This match. This show does have a couple intergender matches that I go, okay, I like this. This is one of them because Becca and Jimmy Lloyd couldn't be two different people. They say for Jimmy Lloyd, the catchphrase, you're blanking with a different boy, Jimmy Lloyd. And Jimmy's another one of those guys, kind of like Joey Janela. He's crazy. He's done some stuff. I got to see him last week in a 6-man with Wasted Youth against the SATs, man. And for a kid who I believe didn't get the proper training in the beginning, the kid is good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it looking at him, but that kid is good. And Becca is probably one of the best women's wrestlers in the Northeast right now.
She's up there. She's definitely up there. Yeah. Anything else on that match?
No, that's pretty much it. It's gonna be cool to see how those styles mesh.
Right.
And then Go ahead.
No, I'm gonna just go right to the next match.
Is it gonna be Marcus Mathers and
Nope.
Okay, what's the next one?
I'm going in order listed on the website. So the Prize City OG, Alec Price, TJ Crawford.
Price.
Yeah.
Ooh. High impact wrestlers. TJ Crawford is a guy who's getting a lot of attention now.
Right.
Especially with the big business stable that he's running with Brad Hollister and Brick City. No longer boys, just Brick City for those who haven't caught on yet. And Alec Price is the Northeast Beast. The main event, pretty much anywhere you go, Alec Price is it. He is the guy right now on the Northeast.
Absolutely. This match I'm really looking forward to is Ichiban and Mortar, which...
So, I think this goes back to their last show. There was a battle royal, the still standing show, and Mortar had cost Ichiban a shot at the title, and Ichiban, they used to be a tag team. Ichiban's out for revenge. Martyr, I've seen Martyr. I've seen a couple matches with Martyr. He's not. Let me start off with saying he's good. He's not bad. He's a good wrestler. I'm just not 100% sold on him yet.
Right.
But I have seen some things that I go, ooh, I like this. And then again, we've said his name about 7 times today. Ichiban again is one of those guys in the Northeast that is about to blow up.
Another guy that comes up quite frequently on this show, so this might be the first time we actually mentioned him, maybe the second, which is we've been a little bit light on him today. Dustin Flash Waller taking on Trigger the OG.
Trigger the OG is JT Dunn's tag team partner in the unit. I'm going to be honest. I don't know much of Trigger. I've seen maybe 2 matches of his, maybe. Yeah. And I really don't have much to say as far as like what he brings to the table.
Right.
And then Dustin Flash Waller, what can be said about Dustin that hasn't been said before? The kid is finding his confidence, and I give it about 1 more year before that kid is on TV.
1 more year. That's wow, bro.
Yeah, I give it 1 more. By next year, he will have had a shot somewhere, whether it be NXT or going down to a training class or even MLW.
Right.
We're gonna hear their name somewhere.
Wow. Okay. All right. That's a good one. Richard Holiday and Ricky Smokes.
Ricky Smokes is a young technician out of the Massachusetts area, I believe. He's new to my radar. He was at Test of Strength a couple months ago, and I didn't get a chance to see him. But I've heard nothing but good things about Ricky Smokes. And then Richard Holiday, talked about him earlier, has been absolutely impressive since returning back from cancer. Fight Life is putting on a hell of a card at Hot AF.
Let's see. We got another match, a mixed tag team match. Isn't that something? More mixed action. We got now this one. This is Shannon. How do you say it? Laverne? I can't say it.
I think
Levante?
It's Levangie or something like that.
Oh, Levangie. Okay, I can't read in my glass. I don't have my glasses. With Marcus Mathers, which and then taking on BMT and Ariel.
So that's the match I was going to talk about earlier. Ariel and Brandon Michael Thomas are Northeast. I wouldn't. It's tough because I don't want to disparage them. I don't want to talk negatively or make it seem like they're not what they are. They're names that have been in the Northeast for a very long time. Okay. You can say that they're legends out here. They're the people who build roads for what we have now in the Northeast. Brendan Michael Thomas was pretty big in the Chikara era. Same with Ariel. And they're going against 2 young whippersnappers in Marcus Mathers and Steph. Is it Steph Levangie, the troublemaker?
Shannon Levangie.
Shannon Levangie, the troublemaker. Yeah. I got to see a little bit of her. She had a fun little feud with Becca at Wrestling Open that ended up in a street fight. That was a lot of fun to watch. She definitely, her look and the way she wrestles don't necessarily match. Because she looks like the girl next door, I guess that's the best way I could describe her. She just looks like the girl next door, like your next door neighbor. You hang out with her, maybe grab some ice cream, whatever. And then she gets in the ring and she starts kicking your ass. And then Marcus Mathers, it's Same with like Dustin Waller, Tylon King, and Ichiban. That's one of those guys where by next year, I see him on TV as well.
We have a Team Mind Eraser with Mike Gracia, Ava Everett, and Core
Graca.
Powered. Graca, sorry, my bad. I don't know my.
I got you.
I don't know. I'm not very familiar with him, but
neither am I.